Jeez. A reminisce, a reminisce, a reminisce. Hey, man.
Mm,
And we are here, man.
we are.
Reminisce Show, man. Every Tuesday, man. Every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Bringing you, man, the past, present, and future, man. Connecting with the traditions of Sankofa, man. Always got to keep it Afrocentric. Always got to keep it inclusive.
Mhm.
We're hearing the ancestors. We're like a manifestation of those who came before us, and we're just continuing on that legacy, man. Stolen from Africa is the movement all day, SFA, man. You know what it is. And yo, man, we here, man. Yo, we're excited. So how are you feeling? How are you feeling, Mindbender, man? How's it going?
Brother, I can honestly say I'm feeling much better than I felt in a lot of the year.
Hey.
It's a funny time right now. Last Saturday, I can honestly say I shed a tear. It was
Mm,
actually just one tear. It was pretty good, but when it was officially finally determined that Biden was the winner, and
okay.
and it felt like the end of the 4 year nightmare of
Mm,
white supremacist Nazis, foolish, lack of intelligent, sexist, racist, ugh,
mm,
madness can possibly be done. Like
mm.
finished, over, finally. So I'm feeling happier than ever. I got a couple of newspapers to commemorate the day, and yeah, ever since then things have been feeling okay. But yeah, I'm rapping too. I made a little rap song. Latest.
Jeez. Hey, man, gotta get the music out, man. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, I'm actually supposed to be jumping on the track with KDB, man. He sent me this amazing song, man. So gotta dust off the mic, man, and get back into the booth and all that.
That is so good to hear, dog, because you are
Yeah,
such an ill MC, man. Like you are such an ill MC.
word.
People
You
don't
know,
know.
it's crazy, like when I think about like my relationship with music, and this kind of ties into like what we're going to be talking about, in a bit, like just some of the violence in hip hop and what have you, and like when things like with the music that I was doing, well, not the music I was doing, but the people that I was with, and just the streets, and you know how it goes, man, like ego and competition and all these kinds of things, and it just kind of became like this. It became a lot different than when I first started out. It was about like fun and self-expression, really learning about myself. But then it became something else. You know what I mean? And it just kind of like put me away from it. And I was just like, you know what? It's not even the vibration, the energy is not like what I signed up for. So I was just like, let me do my music in a different context. And I typically do it more in schools and through education, like using hip hop as a tool to help people discover themselves and to articulate certain emotions and certain things that they're experiencing, and
Yeah.
I do it that way. But every now and then, like I'll have like one of the brethrens, one of the man them will hit me up and be like, yo, like jump on the track, and I'm like, okay, cool, and usually it's like a song with like purpose and intention, and about community building in some kind of capacity or whatever. So they're like, yeah, you'd be the perfect guy on this track. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we
That's
do it. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's cool to be reminded of like why we got into this, like why we started, like why hip hop is so important and all these different factors and stuff. So it's
absolutely.
yeah, man, that's what it is. So but yeah, I mean, other than that, like
How are you doing? Is
yeah,
yeah,
no,
you good?
that's what's up. No, I'm feeling good. This global warming weather has been pretty interesting.
Yeah,
It's
it's nice today.
I was like outside in a t-shirt earlier with my daughter, and she was like skateboarding and whatnot, and we're just enjoy, enjoying this weather for now, because you already don't know, man. When Mother Nature hits, man, that snowstorm is coming.
Boom.
I mean, but it's okay though, because I actually like the winter. So we go skating and stuff. You know what I mean? So we
Oh,
put
it's
the
tight,
shorts away
tight.
and we put on the skates. You know what I mean? So
That's
it's
tight.
all this weekend. We actually went to Center Island. You know, to go find like the maze. Have you ever been there? Like the maze that's on the island. There's
Um.
like an
Oh
evergreen
wait,
like maze. It's like a maze
the
that's like made of
wait.
like bushes and
Oh
whatever.
yeah, I was just gonna say, is it the green one? Yeah,
The green
yeah,
one, yeah.
yeah.
Was there? There's another one.
No. That's the one I was thinking. I was like, yeah, I think I
Right,
have.
right.
Was it made out of bushes? Yeah.
Yeah, like Center Island, like the islands is such like a slept on gem of the city. For those of us who are not like fortunate enough, for those of us who are not fortunate enough to have like a cottage and all these different things. Yes, big up. All these different things, like going just taking that ferry boat ride, it's a couple bucks, and you kind of get that like feel like you're away from the city, and it's just peaceful and quiet. And the island, there's like a lot of land too. You know what I mean? Like it's not crowded at all. Like you can really go into like secluded spaces and just have your own private time and whatnot. So it was cool. So we had our bikes and we are just riding around. I did like a little video I posted on my Facebook timeline, and you know what I mean? It was just like a good vibe, you know what I mean? So I'm definitely in good spirits. You know, this week, you know, it's been off to a pretty good start, man. So yeah, man, that's what it is, man. I'm feeling good, feeling ambitious, man, feeling motivated. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear,
Yeah,
yo. I
just gotta keep it moving.
we do, and the peace, like the weather has been nice, so peace, whatever we can actually get done in these times, because it's so weird to. I feel certain ambitions too, but I also realize like, there's limitations to some of the ambitions. Yo, one quick thing that I just remembered, when we didn't even talk about in the pre-show. I want to give a shout out to the Mod Club, because the Mod Club is shut down,
bro.
Yeah, and,
you know, man, like
wow, that's Toronto history.
When I heard that, I was like, whoa! Like it's like it's almost like we're becoming this like cemetery, man. Like things are just dying and decaying, and like just like these places that, you know, and this is the thing that we talk about in the Reminisce Show, like all these different venues that have come and gone that hold so much like secret space in our hearts, and just so much of like my identity, like, you know, and just my evolution of self, like spend time in these spaces and what they mean for me, you know, and just being, you know, Toronto born and raised, it's like, you know, and the shift, you know, it's crazy. Like Mod Club, man, like I've been to like so many, it was one of my favorite venues actually.
It really was. I
always felt like it was like the perfect size, like, you know what I mean? Like it was intimate enough, but like it was a medium size, but and then it's also like the up top as well, like, you know what I mean? Which, you know, usually it's like the VIP or exclusive. You got to have the wristband, and you know what I mean? If you're up there, you get that aerial view, and it's great for filming. You know, I always have my camera and you know, filming different events and whatnot. And the Mod Club was just like a nice spot, you know, and almost like the, you know, the college vibe. You know, you would have like Revival across the street, so sometimes you may have two events happening on the same day. You just do the
that happens. That definitely happens sometimes.
You know what I mean? And then everybody would just be hanging out outside, chilling, you know, and these are like cultural spots. These are places of community. These are places that, you know, of connection. And such a shame that the Mod Club, you know, has come to a place where they have to close their doors, and it's really, really unfortunate.
It's so unfortunate. It'll be sad to just be like, yo, what's it gonna turn into? Condos, or they're gonna put like a grocery store or a Starbucks in there? Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, I can't. Kamau is the one that actually made the post. Shout out to Ian Kamau. And Kamau was like, I saw Kane on there, and he was mentioning a couple shows, and I was like, I can't even remember how many amazing shows I've seen. So I started digging them up, and I'm like, oh, I saw De La Soul, Cardinal, like Hudson Mohawk, all these random amazing shows. Honey Jam was enough at the Mod Club. It was enough great Honey Jam events happened there. So I saw painting shows. I saw some kink shows there. I saw crazy hieroglyphics was there. MOP was there. Like, I can't even, and I was like, that's why it's so great to do this Reminisce Show, because it helps me dig up some of the memories that I hadn't looked back on. And like, I don't want something to have to get shut down to appreciate the greatness of what it gave us, man. Like, we don't need to lose things to be like, oh shit, that was special. Like,
well, I mean, this is an opportunity. You know, I'm gonna go my YouTube archives, and I was just thinking to myself, you know, as I was reminiscing about live performances and concerts and stuff, and I'm gonna start pulling up some old videos and whatnot. You know, because I found one with like with a mall, and I found a couple of them actually. And I know that we're gonna have him back on like next week. You know what I mean? Because he has incredible stories, though. But I was just looking at some of this old footage and just like reminiscing about his different venues and you know, just like the crowds and just the energy that all comes with it, you know. And I'm like, wow, man, like I haven't been to a concert in a long time. Matter of fact, like I took going to concerts for granted, like straight up. Like there's many times where I've had like tickets and I just didn't go because I'm like, I'll just go the next time or whatever. And you know what I mean? Like we have like we go to concerts like galore, you know what I mean? So it's like, if I miss a concert, it's like whatever. But now I'm just like, man, like I don't want to take that for granted, because like, to have that kind of access and that kind of mobility, man, it's just and just like how we've been thinking about like how much like it impacts like our energy and just our motivation and all these different things, man. So
Oh,
it's wild,
brother,
yo.
I realized in August I had this one of the hardest depressions I've ever felt in my life. And I was like, why am I so depressed right now? And my answer for it was, I haven't been around loud energy and music and community, the community connection with the artist and our family. And I'm like, I haven't been around that in 6 months.
Right.
And this is the first 6 months that I haven't been around it in my entire life. Like, I've been going to concerts. I've been in that
Literally.
energy for 20 years straight since I came back here to Toronto. I came here for music college when I was 21 years old. I'm like, I've been going consistently I'm like, there's no break I ever took. I'm like, if somebody was in town or something, like I went to the show as a journalist, a MC, a show promoter, open mic, whatever. And I'm like, this is the first year I haven't had that feeding into me. And I'm like, and I'm with you, like, oh man, like, man, when they come back, it's gonna be great.
I hope so, man. Because like I said, man, like I'm definitely going to soak up all of that energy, because just like you said, man, like not being around that, like there is like definitely effects, and like, and me and you, we're people that like don't mind going to concerts solo anyways, because but more times when we go to concerts, we meet up with people anyways, you know what I mean? So it ain't, you're never like by yourself really, but like, never had any issue with that. And there's been moments like that where it's just like, your day's kind of off and whatever, but you go to a concert and you feel proper, you know what I mean? You're just like,
God, oh, that's
church,
like,
man, you know what I'm saying?
It's exactly like church. It's usually, it's like, yo, this is the best part of the day. I was looking forward to this. This person is in town. Yo, this is great. I'm gonna see my peoples. Just get to scream out the frustrations of the day. Like, yo, that's the song is playing that I've been waiting to see that song get played live. So, yo, I mean, I know it's gonna be different. Who knows if we're gonna be in these weird social distance bubbles, or like, there's so many random ideas. People are like, concerts where everyone is apart or wearing headphones, or
in a bubble. They're just like in a bubble.
Exactly, wearing these umbrella bubbles. Like, who knows what the future is going to hold? But I just know that I'm going to hope to survive to live to see it, and appreciate it, and be a contributing part of it. And then we could just reminisce on pre-COVID times and just be like, yo, look at that crowd. Like, and just whatever golden footage we got to really look.
Oh, I got a lot of golden footage, you know what I mean? Even stuff that I haven't even like uploaded, yo. Like, there's so much that I think is just, again, taking it for granted. Like, I even got footage of like Tory Lanez performing at Beld Festival. And it's like probably one of like the sickest like footage that I have, like, just because it's like him like performing, and then he kind of like stage dives into the crowd, and he's like rapping and being body surfed all the way to the back of the crowd. They're like literally going all the way to the back, and then he climbs up on this like the sound booth guy or whatever, like, and then he's just sitting on the top, and then it's like the full moon is just there, like the angle, it's just crazy. Like, it was just like, whoa. And like a ton of people in that crowd, because like it's Beld Festival, right? So you're looking at like 10,000 people easy, if not more, probably more actually, and just that kind of energy, that much people in the density of it, like, yo, like to see that post-COVID, like, I don't know, man.
Oh, for real, like, whoa, holy shit, where's the masks?
Crazy, man, crazy.
But man, yo.
But
so
like,
you wanna get into one of these?
Yeah, man. I mean, they're hip hop, man. I love hip hop, man. But the way how things have been moving a lot, in the context of like death and people just like losing their lives, and it's it just always puts me in this like reflective mindset, and like I start thinking about like these youth and the young people who are caught up in these lifestyles, and it's like, it's sad, it hurts, I mean, especially me coming from like the parental standpoint, like me being a father, and like nobody wants to like have their children involved in certain things, and that could jeopardize their life and what have you. But we already know there's certain circumstances, environmental, systemically, as to like why people are subjected to certain lifestyles, and it's just really sad, especially when I see these like talented artists and just talented people in general, just going through it, and then all of a sudden it's like their life is just done, and then it's like R.I.P. and then move on, and it's
Yeah.
like there's so much like ripple effects, and really just having like the value of life, you know what I mean, has been like a thing that I've been really just dwelling on, you know what I mean. So like in recent news that's been happening over all over the blogs or whatever is on King Von. To be real, like I never like really heard of him until this happened. I know there's a few Toronto artists that have like collaborated with him. I know there is
Oh,
Lil
cool.
Barrett, like who did like a song with him or something. I saw him post something on the social media or whatever. So but other than that, like I'm not familiar with his music. I know you're mentioning it's like the drill sound, and
Yeah, it's
Chicago, and then there's a lot of, we all know Chicago is like is like a war zone, and there's a lot of beef, and that's been going on for like several years now, and it's getting even more intense. So I mean, what are some of your, I guess, findings for this particular topic?
well, actually, one of the few things I do, like, peace to King Von and all the young,
Man.
old, or any rapper that's ever been murdered. It's a tragedy, and it's heartbreaking to see young black lives or young people's lives just get snuffed out long before they're done contributing to the world.
Crazy.
But I do want to shout out, somebody had raised this thought about, they had said that the cops actually killed young Vaughn, and said that what would really happen was that young Vaughn was fighting some dude. This is the story. I'm not sure. This is an alleged. I just have to mention it because it's worth noting. They said young Vaughn was fighting some dude, and young Vaughn was beating him up, and he was like winning the fight. And then when the cops came to the scene, they're just like, oh, this person is the more aggressive person, so they shot him. So
so you're saying that he was shot by the cops?
Yeah, man. And like I'm just saying that very much may not be true. That might be totally a fabricated story. I'm it's obviously details are still unfolding, and the facts are coming out. At the same time, I did see a video. I didn't really want to see it, but I was scrolling, and it just was right in my feed, and it was a really short part of the clip, and I was like, oh, I like focused on it for a second. I was like, oh shit, that's the King Von video. And there is a video of the fight and the shooting that apparently ended up as the last situation that took his life. And what it was is like, it's just some cats on the street at night, and there's a couple vehicles, and there's like a group of like 9 or 10 black dudes, and then like 2 people walk up, and then there's like this like melee, like this scuffle, and like 7 or 8 people go scrambling all over the place, and they all scatter, and then you can't really see it, but on the side one hand kind of does, you can't really see a shooting, but like you see somebody's hand kind of do this, and then one other guy falls down, and you can see him on the ground, but he's not dead, and then everybody scatters. So it's like that's the last video, and so and there's apparently a text where young Vaughn had said his very last text was, "You let them get me," or whatever. So I'm just saying all that to say, like, the video and the text might lead to supporting the story that he was shot by some black dudes. And apparently they caught the black dude. If I remember correctly, right before he went to bed, there was a guy who was arrested for it. It's a black. But I'm just saying, I really wanted to bring up the story of just hearing that the cops shot him, because like cops have shot some rappers dead.
Crazy.
George Floyd was a rapper. So,
yo, man, R.I.P. man, and it's just, man, that value for life. You know what I mean? And even like in the context of like police, it's like, how do we de-escalate situations? You know what I mean? Like, maybe it needs to be more training. I don't know how much more training we can, really suggest or offer or whatever, but
yeah,
I think that's really what it is, coming from like a harm reduction standpoint, in every sense of the word. But I want to get into that video clip by Gilly the Kid, who's like an OG, an older head, in the scene, Philadelphia, out of Philly. and you know, someone who's very familiar with the street life, who's very familiar with like, you know, the things that come with it. And you know, one thing that I appreciate that I've seen is evolution. He's been doing like a lot of like, you know, like videos and, you know, Instagram chats and giving advice and all these different things. And you know, it's cool to see like his evolution and just really want to give insights. And you know, so I saw this video and I really felt him on that, you know. So I think, you know, we can play like a little clip from that. You know what I mean? See if sound is working on your end.
Here we go. You hear it?
I don't hear anything, B.
Hold on 1 sec. It's just because I got my headphones plugged in then. This should work.
All right, let's see what he says.
First of all, I want to start this video off by saying rest in peace to King Von, rest in peace to his two homies.
Yep.
You know, they just all was at my studio less than a week ago. King Von is coming up on $1 million worth of game this Sunday. You feel what I'm saying? So rest in peace to King Von, man. And my condolences to his whole family, the two homies that passed, they families, Lil Durk, all of that, right? Let me give to the rest of these youngins out here, right? Let me give y'all $1 million worth of life real quick. Fuck game. It's cool to live, man. It's cool to become an old nigga, man. Especially when you come from the situations that I come from. When you coming from these motherfucking inner cities, man, these fucking jungles, man, and God put a blessing on you. God make you one of the chosen ones. Out of all these motherfuckers, I'm gonna make you one of the chosen ones. Bam. Bam. I'm gonna make you the one that's gonna change your whole fucking family situation out here. You're gonna change some of the niggas that's around you situation. You're going to change your kids' situation. We got to understand that we got a bigger purpose, man. We got to understand that we got a bigger calling in life, man. Because everybody don't get them fucking blessings. Everybody don't get that talent dropped on them. So when you get them fucking blessings, man, you got to take advantage of your blessings, man. You got to understand that niggas don't want you to win out this motherfucker, man. Niggas don't want you to win. XXX was winning. We took him. Pop Smoke was winning. We took him. Nipsey Hussle was winning. We took him. Vaughn was winning. We took him. Niggas don't want you to win out this bitch. Understand that. So you got to understand what you the fuck up against, man. When God put them blessings on you, man, take advantage, man.
Okay, I think that's good right there, man. Yeah.
The perfect.
Yeah, man.
Perfect moment.
Really, the kid, you know, like, you know, Gilly, man, he's just, you know, representing and just, you know, showing and proving. And to me, like, that's what an OG is all about. You know, using that platform to speak and just to, you know, remind, you know, us of like our purpose. And it's true, when you're blessed with like this talent, this God-given talent, and you're able to like change the circumstances of your, you know, your peoples, your family, your community, it's like, yeah, man, like there is a higher purpose, you know. You know, the objective is not for us to like stay in these like lower vibrational spaces, man. We're supposed to evolve and rise up. You know, and it's true. Like, there's always going to be, you know, the crabs in a bucket mentality. You know, like, but then, you know, the flip side is people always say, you know what I mean? It's like we always talk about the crabs in the bucket, but we don't talk about the fact that the crabs are in the bucket in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real.
So
who built the bucket?
Who built the bucket? You know what I mean? So when I look at what's happening, like, I see that same thing. Like, you know, a lot of us, you know, a lot of artists and you know, talented people come from, you know, the projects and lower income places and whatnot, and that's our bucket, you know. And you know, the next man who's, you know, doing, it could be anything really, whether you're going to school, anything positive that's not the typical, you know, whatever. It's like, that's a problem, you know. So you're not only going to have like, you know, challenges amongst your own peers, but then it's like when you even leave that community, you got problems with other communities, and then the larger, and it's just like it's set up in a way that we're not supposed to win, that the outcome is supposed to be like death or jail, and that's, you know, really, really unfortunate. You know, because when I look at like other musical genres, I'm like, we're the only ones. I mean, unless I don't know, like if country artists have beef like that. I don't know. Like maybe they're like, you know, hog tying on the, you know, got the the noose and the lasso and all that. I don't know, but like,
I think if you know, I think that we would hear about it if they were beefing over chart positions and doing drive-bys in each other's hoods on horses, cowboys and six shooters, and or like, you know, you know, if there was a Biggie and Tupac of the country music community, we would have heard about it, man. And I don't think it is, because like the music industry obviously is profiting off Black Death, and they have been ever since the, you know, the death row era. So just, you know, it's Atlantic Records investing more into Bobby Shmurda than when they had Lupe Fiasco. They're like, yo, you have both artists. You could have promoted both artists, but you're like, Lupe is the smart, nerdy black man who like likes anime, and Bobby Shmurda is a black dude from the hood who talks about guns and crack. Let's big up Bobby Shmurda and let's drop Lupe Fiasco. And that's what happened. And it's like, it's just generations of supporting this. The streets feed off it. And unfortunately, it becomes a self-perpetuating cycle. And like, just to cap it off, it's like what Gilly said is the real, yo. Like, it's a blessing and it's a beautiful thing to become old and wise and grown and survive, and just to tell stories and to get children and grandchildren, and it's like, it's that all that nerdy shit, the family shit, and all that community shit. Like, it's magnificent.
Well, you know what? Like everything that he spoke about that, and you know, I know there may be some listeners that, you know, there's a little bit of profanity and all that, but you know, I hope you got the message though. But like, you know, with all of that, it's like, you know, like where, oh man, like where do we go? You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, when I look at, you know, like the music scene, and just like the example that you made with Lupe Fiasco, which is dope, you know, then Bobby Shmurda, it's like, you know, negativity, violence, all those things will always be profitable. You know what I mean? And that's really where they go. They follow the money, and it's like, okay, well, you know, give them what they want, and you know, like you said, we're targeting like a lower, you know, age demographic of people between, you know, let's say, I don't know, like 11 and like 21 or something like that, the most impressionable. You know, and this is like the music that's being pumped like towards like that demographic, and you know, it's profitable on many levels. You know what I mean? Like album sales, and then it filters into other systems. You know, like gun sales go up. I mean, you know, police get paid. You know, the lawyers get paid.
Judges,
you know,
get paid. Lawyers get paid. Absolutely, yo.
It's too lucrative. You know. And you know, it's at the expense of black bodies, which, you know, for the most part, we know that society doesn't really care. You know, like Michael Jackson always said, man, they don't really care about us. You know, that's why we talk about, you know, Black Lives Matter. That's why we talk about stolen from Africa. That's why we're always, you know, creating space for understanding and growth, and to make sure that our voices don't get silenced, and we're heard, and our narratives are told from our perspective.
Yes, brother. All of it's still real.
You know, but right now hip hop's, you know, it's Coca-Cola, man. You know, it's big business.
Yeah.
And then the people, like, you know, in their, you know, executive suites or whatever, just like, hey man, it's business.
It's business,
you know,
real,
and that's like the separation between like community work and then from like a business mindset. You know, it's about how do we maximize profits. You know what I mean? Like by any means necessary.
By any, for real, they'll. Yo, Kanye West's interview on he had one line that people are not quoting enough. That wow, it was the most powerful thing that he had said in years. So he was on Joe Rogan, and he said, he goes, if the slave master, or he's like, if he didn't say slave master, he was like, if my oppressor and the people, no, he goes, the people who own my masters, the major label companies, he's like, if the major label companies would put themselves economically in harm's way and try to break the law to keep me under control and own me, I have to almost break the law and put myself in harm's way to get my freedom.
Cool.
And when he's like I kind of fucked up the quote, but he's like, yo, the things that these are the people who make the bucket that the crabs are stuck in. These are our oppressors who are like, yeah, we'll give you an Oprah and a Michael Jordan, but we're not going to give you reparations. We're not going to like solve the real problem and fix the ghetto or like help you get back to Africa or anything. We're not going to really like we're going to break the law to keep you like enough under control that we like you can still have a bit of freedom, but we're still profiting off your freedom more than anything. And like it was just a huge.
Oh, that's the realest, man. And you know, freedom is a must, man. Like, you know, that has always been that, you know, and you know, to have that autonomy, to have that control of your destiny and your art and just like your being, and just to be subjected to somebody else's like that's just wild.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's so colonial. You know what I mean? Like we got to get out of those mindsets and those situations. And like protect your stuff, man. Know your value, know your worth, and also, you know, we got to be mindful of like who and what we align ourselves with. You know what I mean? Because not everybody is going to have our best interests, even though it may appear so. You know what I'm saying? So we always got to keep that in mind, man. But you know, to move forward on a more, you know, positive note on the Reminisce. I'm pleased that, you know, some footage of the Notorious B.I.G. performing in Toronto has resurfaced. I believe we spoke about this before, where like, you know, I saw it like several years ago, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, whoa, like Biggie actually performed, and you know, it was chill. Like, you know, there's an interview, I guess, with much music, and he's just being all calm, shooting pool, just hanging out. And then the footage I saw, I was like, man, like this is like the hip hop shows that I remember, and like, you know, just being that intense, raw hip hop, rowdy energy, you know, almost like mosh pit ready to go. And I think like things kind of got crazy where they had to shut down the venue or whatever. I got to end the show a little early or something like that because mans were so hype. And I was pleased to see like I noticed, you know, I got to shout out 100 Miles, you know what I mean? Well, one of my favorite Toronto brands, you know, the OG brand. Had, you know, Tupac rocking the 100 Miles and Above the Rim. Yo, in the video that we're going to play right now, I don't know if you can share your screen or whatever, but you're going to have to figure that out. In that video, he's wearing like a 100 Miles headband. You know what I mean? And then in that same shot, there's like someone beside him wearing the two black guys like jersey or whatever. So I was like, man, like Toronto was like well advanced. Like we weren't even ready for like what we were able to bring. You know what I mean? Like we were like ahead of his time. We had to like really catch up, and now we're slowly, you know, we're there now. But it was just kind of cool to know that this footage from like '95, Biggie Smalls were performing somewhere on Yonge Street. What was that venue? It was cool.
I'm pretty sure everything that I know, it was at Yonge and Gerrard. There was a pool hall at the top of Yonge and Gerrard. Right now, it's a cannabis store, obviously. But as far as I know, it was either a pool hall on top of Yonge and Gerrard or like in the basement of it. There was like in the video footage of Biggie playing pool with Oliver. It looks like they're in a basement, but then people, I think they were referring to be like, oh, this is the same spot you're going to be rocking. So I think he performed upstairs.
Okay.
But, it's been renovated. It's been changed, like where the spot is right now. So it's not exactly the way it used to be. I don't know if I can share video. I'm trying to.
Is there a share screen option on your end?
Yeah, but it's just, I don't know if I can share like a tab. Like,
yeah, like if you make that tab like by itself, like if you have like a bunch of tabs and you kind of make it solo, and then you should be able to put up. And no, we get in it, man. We learn all these, you know, the technological ways of you know, engagement and, you know, interacting virtually. You know what I mean? Soon we're gonna have to hire like, you know, like a behind the scenes team to hold down the cameras and all this stuff for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Soon come, you know, speaking into existence.
Oh, hold on a sec.
See what you got.
Here we go. I learned a little something.
All right. Let's see what you got, man. Let's see if we can make it happen. Oh, okay, I see it.
Yeah, okay.
Hold on. There we go. All right.
So I just gotta start this shit up.
Yeah, you just gotta press play.
Where is this? This is it. Yo, in our era of music, thank you for this. This is some of the best hip hop footage in the world. Like,
Facts.
Classic.
Joy.
And very few people have ever seen this. I don't give a fuck about numbers, but look at this. Your life is played out with farmland and the fucking Biggie! Unbelievable. Biggie Smalls is illest. Look at Biggie getting mashed up. Biggie! Like it was Puffy. That's so Toronto.
Just on my wall.
Smoking weed and bamboo, sipping on private stock.
Way back.
With the hat to the max.
Hip hop would take it this far. All right. Okay, proper. Yo, man. You know what I love about that footage?
What?
You know, it's so cool because it reminds me of a time where like hip hop was perceived as black music. You know what I mean? Like you can only hear it on college radio. Like you weren't hearing those tunes, man. That's like CKLN, you know what I mean? CIUT type vibes. Like that remind me of like the college radio era vibe. Like the whole essence, the energy of that video is exactly that. But that's what it reminds me of. You know what I mean? And it's just cool to see the evolution of hip hop, right? Because, you know, me and you, we've been to like many concerts, and then, you know, when you look into the crowd, it's like it's different. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's almost the exact opposite, actually.
Yeah, and it's
really interesting, you know?
There's blessings and curses from both sides and angles, but like that is raw energy, beautiful, mostly love. I you know, there's probably a little griminess that happened at that show. Exactly. Let's not be
yeah.
But still, I mean, it was a brand new energy being born. That's Biggie's first time in Toronto, like his only time in Toronto, sadly. Like hip hop was very young at that time, as far as, you know, that's his first album.
Yeah.
Bad, like a lot of things were happening for the first time. So, you know, there was just, when things are being created, there will be a little destruction, a little pain, a little suffering. So like, but you had to love the beautiful rawness of it.
And then again, like, you know, a lot of the concerts that we go to these days don't have that kind of intimate vibe. I mean, maybe it takes a certain kind of artist. I know, like, you know, like Method Man. I can see Method Man doing that. Like Method Man would be someone like who'd be in the crowd. But for the most part, artists kind of, you know, it's just really this like velvet rope, glass box idea where like you stay over there, I'm over here, and whatnot. So the fact that Biggie was all up in the mix like that is just crazy. And then even from like a COVID perspective, insane. You know,
straight up.
It's like that can't fly right now, man. That's a no-go.
That concert is a super spreader event, yo.
You know, speaking basically and all of that. You feel me?
Like, yeah, no doubt. Like one person get it in there, 150 people gonna get it in that room. Like the bump.
It's a cesspool, like, yo. Like,
oh my god, it was all the people. Yo, I gotta say, DJ, I got what her DJ name was. She hasn't DJ for a while, but anyways, a college DJ from CKLN who lives up in my apartment building was at that Biggie Smalls show. And
Well, then we may have to get her on to talk about that experience, man, because I want to get firsthand accounts of that, man, because I'm feeling the vibe just from watching it. And it just, again, it reminds me of like, that's how I felt like my first hip hop experience, man. Just like this tight, packed hip hop space, and you're getting pushed on, your shoes are getting stepped on. Like, it's crazy, man.
so crazy. So you're right. You're right. You know, I'll hit her up, man. I never thought about that. Yo, we could ask her about some shit.
Reminisce Show, man. Like, this is what it is, man. I mean, even audience members, people who are listening, man. You know what I mean? Like, you have some crazy stories that you want to share, man. We can plug you into that, man, because it's really about documenting and preserving these stories, these memories, and we do it through oral traditions. You know what I mean? That's that's the Afrocentric way. You feel me? So
that's it. I was actually just thinking that, man, to be honest, like a little segment where like anybody in the comments, if you want to holler at us and just chat up, like just more than just chatting comments, man, we'd love to just bring you on, man. Why not? Like,
you in, we can send you the link. You know what I mean? It's easy to like, add on. You know what I mean? I think we can have like up to like 10 people in this call. You know what I mean? So we can really make it a thing. That's we can put out there and keep it inclusive, because everything we do, is about community and about connection. That's what we do with Stolen from Africa, and even you, Mindbender. That's just how we move. You know what I mean? It's just all about being inclusive, connecting people, bouncing off ideas, learning from each other. Making sure people's voices get heard and all of that, man. So
that's real. That's real,
man. What you got, man? What kind of flyers you got?
As I was digging the bag, while we round up near the end, just wondering if there's any last final thoughts about anything in the world happening?
I mean, my last final thoughts is that it's okay to get old. Like we live in this culture, just like what Gilly was talking about. When we live in this culture where, like live fast, die young, and like if you get like a 1-2 gray hairs, you're done. You know what I mean? It's like I mentioned before, like I'm trying to have this all gray. Like I'm trying to have like a gray like afro and all of that. You know what I mean? Like I want to be an old ass man, like straight up. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I have no intention of leaving anytime soon. So, and just like the blessing and wisdom that comes with that, like I've already seen so much like evolution, you know what I mean? Like just, it's crazy, and I can only imagine what more is to come. And as we get older, we have like so much insights that we can share with other people that can, hopefully give them insights and maybe save them some time where they don't have to go down certain roads that we went down. You know what I mean?
Honestly,
so,
like
my final thoughts, man. Don't be afraid to get old, man. You get a 1-2 gray hairs or a lot, man. Hey, man, it's beautiful. You know what I mean? It's a blessing. Honor it. Enjoy your evolution.
Enjoy your evolution for real.
Yeah, because who I am today isn't the same person I was when I was 20 or when I was 10 years old or when I was 5 years old. You know what I mean? Like, of course, we all have our essence, but we also evolve and we mature and we grow. So,
and it's like the seasons, because it's just like the seasons. There's 4 seasons in a year in a healthy environment, and every year for the last 10,000, 100,000 years in nature, it's been the same 4 seasons. But that doesn't mean that one year that's not there's hurricanes one year, or the next year there's a drought or whatever. Like, it's still slightly different. Nature shifts and grows and changes, but nature still comes back to every January, February, March. It's springtime. When spring comes, it's spring, and it's like, what new things will the next spring bring? Like, I didn't.
Well, but I mean, just to add to that, like before we close up, man, it's so true. Like the cycles, and I've been really paying attention to that. You know what I mean? Because when you look at the seasons, it's like, you have like the the operation of it, and then things come to an end. So spring, things are new and fresh. Summer, everything is like bumping or whatever. Then fall comes, and then things are, dying or transitioning rather.
Yeah.
And then you have that like winter, which is that quiet period, which is kind of like, it's like you're in the womb. You know what I mean? You're cultivating, you're growing, you're developing, and then when spring comes, it's like boom, you come out. You know what I mean? So it's it's and that's just the general thoughts. You know what I mean? That's just the way of life for me. You know what I mean? Thinking about that. Matter of fact, we have those cycles like every day. The moment we wake up and then we go to bed. You know what I mean? Like that's like a simple season.
Every single day. Every day.
Wake up and it is new. It is a new day, a new opportunity to change, to evolve, to to do something better, or or hey, maybe you're doing something amazing and just keep it going. You know, so
that's really what it is. And so, yo, I found an interesting one. I want to give a mad shout out to
jeez, big up, man. Who shot you? Yes,
the big red alarm clock, the man, the genius, the
OG.
Hip hop's probably hip hop's longest, deepest photographer.
I actually got one of his books right here.
Yeah, me too. You got yours too? I got mine right over there.
You know, one got stolen, but I got the second one. This is the second one. You got the same one.
The same one. Yo, we gotta send this to Ernie. Ernie, come on, man.
Hey, man, we got to get him on the live, man. I'm gonna put on there, man. Ernie, man, we got you, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the history. You know what I mean? That's just. Now, you know what? Y'all gonna go buy the book, man. Y'all gotta buy the book.
We're giving you free good gold.
I cherish this, man. My original one, like, it was signed. It got stolen somehow. I don't know where it just disappeared. So I got to order that again because I need that for my archives. I need that for my kids, so I can be like, yo, this is what hip hop looked like when it started. You know, I know hip hop has gone to a different place, but lest we forget.
We forget. Like, come on, Tupac and Queen Latifah and Kid Capri. If you don't wearing a Naughty by Nature t-shirt, if you don't know the cultural value, Tupac Digital Underground graph shirt. If you don't know what the value of that shit means, get the fuck out of here.
Like I still want a Naughty by Nature shirt, man. Like, it was like one of my favorite groups growing up.
Shout out to Naughty by Nature. Naughty by Nature, in my brain, I think they're technically the very first hip hop clothing company, even before Wu Wear. Wu Wear was the second. Wu Wear got way bigger.
Yeah, I can see that. Like their own, like, you know, their own branding, and they did that because like those shirts were hard, man. They had the jackets and all that, and really like pushed that. No, I can see that.
In '93 with the Hip Hop Hooray album, they had the boxer shorts with the Naughty logo,
right?
And Naughty by Nature was just there's so many great people who've done so many legendary things that people don't give them their flowers for, but that's what we do on the Reminisce Show. So I didn't even get to talk much about this event. This was the release of the book, and you know who's on the back there?
We were at that show, man. I have footage of that.
Yeah.
I have footage of you like asking Ernie a question or something. We'll play that next time or whatever. Like, I have footage of that, man. Shout out KDB, man. Unknown Misery, man. Big up. Yeah, that was the event where I got the original, the Who Shot You, and it was auctioned. I think I paid for like I paid like $100 for it or whatever, and it got assigned. For me, it was like preservation of culture. But then somehow it disappeared, man. I'm cheesed. I'm upset. If you got my book, man, it was signed to Stolen from Africa. So you see that book around, man, you let me know.
Yes, for real, yo. Be like, yo, that ain't your book.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Ernie forever. That man is one of the realest people I've ever met. One of the greatest teachers I've ever met. And somebody who understands the value and purpose of documenting history, capturing culture, and just really holding on to the morals and values of our ancestors and just taking them into whatever new realms of art we're going into. So
that's it, man.
I think that's all I got.
Well, that's it for now, man. You know what I mean? Like I said, next week, man, we're going to have him all. He's going to come back. He got mad stories. I'm going to put together some like video clips of just different shows that we've been to. Like I saw one where like you were at a 2 Chainz concert, like, you know, we're at the Drake concert, many festivals, like, you know, so many different things, you know. And yeah, man, we're going to get down to it, man, because again, he has some extensive stories, you know, just a lot of insight, you know, a lot of behind the scenes things and operations of how things operate and work, and you know what I mean. So I think it's going to be really cool. And then we also got some few other guests like lined up, you know, because we're getting to that place now where we want to bring in some more people and to share their thoughts and perspectives as we reminisce. Thanks.
Mad love to Sandra and all our guests and all the people who are watching. Thank you very much for going into past, present, and future with us. We will go reminisce next week on Tuesday at 7 p.m. as we always do. We hope you have one beautiful week. And shout out to VP-elect Kamala Harris, the most powerful mixed black woman, South Asian woman, powerful woman of color on the planet.
Right now, man.
yo, she really needs to big up the sex workers and not put so many people in jail. But besides that, all good. Mad love to the new changing world, and everyone, hope you have a beautiful week.
That's right, man. Until next time, yo. All right, man. Peace.